The time now is 9:31. Are we going live?
Launch ceremony hosted by the Toronto District School Board. I'm Nisha. Good morning. I'm Abhinisha. Good morning. I am Julia.
Sat Shri Akal. My name is Adipal. All of us are students at North Albion and we're MCs today. On behalf of the TDSB Sikh Heritage Month Committee, we'd like to welcome you, our prestigious guests, educators, and teachers. Students and the TDSB community.
Today is the 6th of April, which is also celebrated every year in Canada as Tyrant Day, honoring the Scottish culture and heritage and their Independence Day. The Tyrant is a special cloth and pattern used for kilts worn by Scottish people.
The connections of Sikhs to Scotland date back to 1854 when Maharaja Dalip Singh of the Punjab state was sent to Scotland and settled there. Now, according to the 2011 census, Sikhs make up about 0.2% of Scotland's population. Sikhs honor the local traditions in Scotland by wearing their own cartoon design.
To begin the celebration of Sikh Heritage Month, I would request Lisha to read Land Cliff Acknowledgement in Punjabi and Ajay Paul will follow that in English. Please stand and join us for the line acknowledgement. ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਨਿਸ਼ਨਾਬੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸਾਨੀ ਕਨਫੈਡਰੇਸੀ ਅਤੇ ਬੇਂਡਰ ਦੇ ਮਿਸੀਸਾਗਾ ਦੀਆਂ ਜ਼ਮੀਨਾਂ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਥਿਤ ਹਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਪਹਿਲੀਆਂ ਕੌਮਾਂ ਮਿਤੀ ਅਤੇ ਇਨਯੁਤ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਥਾਈ ਮੌਜੂਦਗੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਪਛਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ
We acknowledge that we're hosted on the lands of the Mississaugas of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wendat. We also recognize that we're hosted on the lands of First Nations and Inuit people. And we also recognize the enduring presence of all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people.
Next, Mr. Alexander Brown, Chairperson, Board of Trustees of TDSB, will share a few words on this special occasion.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the virtual launch of Sikh Heritage Month. My name is Alexander Brown. I'm the chair of the Toronto District School Board and the trustee for Willowdale. I want to start by thanking the Planning Committee for once again bringing us together to celebrate the many achievements and contributions of Sikh Canadians. The Toronto District School Board is committed to recognizing, embracing, and working with the diverse communities that make up our cultural fabric. Through Heritage Months, students and staff have an opportunity to elevate their voices, share their stories, and participate in events, as well as learn from tools and resources that are provided to support equitable and inclusive education in our classrooms. Today, you will be treated to remarkable speakers and performances to honor the contributions of Sikh Canadians and to highlight this year's theme, Come to Learn, Go to Serve. The goal of education is to serve humanity. This theme really speaks to the ongoing work at the Toronto District School Board to provide students with a quality public education in safe and inclusive spaces with curriculum, resources, and supports that reflect the diversity of our communities. It's important that our students have the opportunity to learn about the peoples, cultures, and communities that make up our vibrant city. These opportunities help shape and provide our emerging student leaders with a well-rounded education, and also to ensure that they continue to share the values of fairness, equity, and inclusion now and in the future. It's also just as important that we provide professional learning opportunities for our staff to learn and grow, so that they can better support our students in reaching their full potentials and in helping them become responsible, contributing members of society. This work is very much reflected in our new student learning strategy, which is a proactive and student-centered approach to creating respectful and culturally safe learning environments for all students. I encourage you to check out this new strategy and its action plans on tdsb.on.ca. Finally, I want to close by thanking our staff and planning committee members who work tirelessly to support and educate our students, their families, and our school communities. We really do appreciate the work that you do every day. And I hope that today's event is informative, insightful, and entertaining for you. Please enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Mr. Brown. We gratefully appreciate your visit. Next, I would request our Director of Education, Ms. Colin Russell Rollins, to please address us.
Good morning, everyone. It's Ms. Chandu. We will come back to our director's message in a few moments. I will pass the mic off to Isha to introduce our next segment.
Charita Padukari, Dara Singh, a senior kindergarten student from Greystone Public School, is going to share his views on our theme for this year's celebrations.
Why did you cook us so? Why did you put this? Hello everyone. My name is Arsin. I am an SK student from Greystone Public School. I'm going to talk about Guru Nanak Dev Ji's motto about education. It is calling me to Charita Upakari. Motto this motto encourage everyone to use their knowledge to help others. Just like our principal, Mr. Babi, after getting his education, he is using his knowledge to help run our school. My teachers are giving me knowledge by teaching me how to read and write. The education is getting when I grow up. Nanak says if you want to get true knowledge, help others, people, your goal will grow up. When I grow up, I want to be a lawyer because I can help people get justice. I also want to be a firefighter because I can save people from fires. The third thing I want to be is a doctor because I can help people that are ill. I want to help my grandmother by being a doctor because she is old and she needs a chain to walk. Guru Nanak Dev Ji's belief is to help others. Education is a source of life and power. With Charita Upakari, thank you for listening. Wadu ji kakasa, wadu fateh.
Shantanu Agyas dancing. Next up, we will have a recital of a verse from my scripture, Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Sukhmani Kaur and Siddharth Singh from Lakeland Public School are reciting it for us. Sukhmani is also playing on a Sikh musical instrument called the turban.
सतगुर की सेवा सफल है जे को करे चित लाए सतगुर की सेवा सफल है जे को करे चित लाए सतगुर की सेवा सफल है जे को करे चित लाए मन जिंद आपन पावना विचो जाए मन जिंद आपन पावना विचो जाए विचो जाए सतगुर की सेवा सफल है जे को करे चित लाए सतगुर की सेवा सफल है जे को करे चित लाए जे को करे चित लाए जे को करे चित लाए वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह
Thank you for the soulful recitals, Sukhmani and Siddharth. Question for all of you. Do you know which musical instrument was played by Sukhmani Kaur in the video you just saw? Which other instruments related to Sikh heritage do you know about it?
We are now going to invite Mr. Pardeep Singh Nagra for the keynote address. Mr. Nagra is a humanitarian, historian, athlete, and advocate. He works for us at the TDSB. Did you know Hollywood made a movie about his journey as a boxer? We are sure his presentation about turbans is going to be a knockout.
Great. Thank you very much. Before I start, our director has joined us, and I'm going to ask our director, Colleen Russell-Wallins, to please share a few words of welcome for Sikh Heritage Month, and then I'll come back and join all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pardeep. I'm excited that you are speaking today, and good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to be with you this morning as we celebrate the launch of Sikh Heritage Month at TDSB. Celebrating Sikh Heritage Month in TDSB is an opportunity for staff and students to learn more about Sikh traditions, history, and to learn more about the many contributions of Sikh Canadians. For example, Nav Bhatia, who many know as the Raptors superfan, but he is also an extremely successful businessman and humanitarian. There's one of my favorites, Lily Singh, YouTuber, talk show host, and performer. Did you know that 18 Sikh identifying members were elected to the Canadian Parliament in the past election, including the leader of the official opposition, Mr. Jagmeet Singh? It's important that we learn about and reflect on their contributions, many of which have helped move Canada forward. All of these amazing accomplishments show that representation matters. These individuals should inspire not only Sikh students and staff, but all of us. Conversations about their lived experiences will further our understanding and respect for each other. This year's theme of Come to Learn, Go to Serve, the goal of education is to serve humanity, really capsulizes what we hope the TDSB in many ways is all about. The program today is an extension of this theme in many ways. The importance of Sikh Heritage Month lies both in its personal meaning for Sikh students, staff, trustees, and community members. And I also want to thank the Heritage Month Committee for organizing this launch event, classroom content, and activities throughout this significant month. Thank you for your commitment to enriching learning about Sikh histories and current contexts for all staff and students. Thank you very much, and I look forward to staying for a little bit more of the program this morning. Have a great day.
Thank you, Colleen, for those inspiring words. I agree with you. Identity is really important. Learning and celebrating the rich contributions of Sikhs across Canada and towards nation building is what it's all about. I'm really excited because part of our theme is service, and I'm sitting right here in the Sikh Heritage Museum of Canada, which I serve as a volunteer executive director. And I think I have the best role to play in today's presentation because I get to talk about the turban. And I know we started off by sharing that it's World Tartan Day. And I have with me here at the museum a book that says Tartans of the World. And there are a couple of tartans that I want to share with you, both the Sikh and the Singh tartan. And what's interesting is sometimes individuals have even worn a tartan turban. And I'm going to share a picture with you of somebody that was wearing a tartan turban right here. And this individual was part of a Sikh regiment called the Rattray Sikhs. And one of the other fun things I like to do is I like to collect toy soldiers. And this is a toy soldier of that same regiment. And you can see that he has his turban, and he also has his military crest on there. And so, you know, I think one of the first things we want to do is to learn some terms and learn some new words. And so I mentioned the word turban, and that's how we describe what's on my head in English. Now, in our language of Punjabi or Gurmukhi, there's other words that we use to describe turban. One of the words is pug, or we say pagri. And another one we say is they're wearing a dharmalla. And so there are different styles of turbans, different colors of turbans. And so I'm going to be sharing a whole bunch of interesting stories around the turban. But you also might be thinking, what is under the turban? And under the turban is my hair. And again, another word that we describe hair in Punjabi is with the word kes. And I'm going to share with you a picture of what somebody's hair might look like underneath the turban. So this is a picture of somebody's hair under a turban. And all it is tied up in a top knot. Another picture that might show that, and you might see, and you might be wearing your hair this way, and my son sometimes wears his hair this way, is this young boy who has his hair tied up in a top knot. And so those are just some things that you might want to know, because sometimes people ask, what's under that turban? And I like to share that it's my hair, and it's tied up in a top knot or a bun. And, you know, I want to share different pictures of individuals that have been wearing turbans, but I also first still want to talk to you about the significance of the turban. Why do I wear the turban? And for me, it's about my faith. It's about my creed. It's about my spiritual practice. It's about spirituality. And so for me, it gives me a sense of commitment. It's about honor. It's about self-respect. It's about responsibility, that I am presenting myself out in public and I need to be responsible with the identity I carry because it speaks to my moral values and piety. It also speaks of courage because wearing a turban is not necessarily easy. Sometimes it's good because it makes me stand out. I'm easy to find in a crowd. I remember I went to go and run a marathon, the Walt Disney World Marathon, and somebody was looking for me. And there was over 25,000 people there registered to run the marathon. And somebody came up to me and said, "Are you Pardeep?" And I said, "How did you find me?" And I said, "You're the only one wearing a turban here." So I was easy to find. Other times, it makes me stand out and I can be a target. I can be a target of somebody's bigotry, somebody's hatred, somebody's racism, or somebody's discrimination. But despite that, I am proud to wear a turban. I think the turban makes me look really nice and pretty, and it's my swag. And I'm going to share a whole bunch of other stories about the turban as well. But another really important thing about the turban is about friendship. One of the most honorable things that we do as Sikhs is we exchange turbans. And it's one of the greatest gifts we can give each other as a sign of friendship. Now, I was introduced as a boxer. So I guess I have to show you a picture of me boxing. But, you know, one of my other favorite things to do is to build Lego characters. And so guess what I did? Because Lego has a whole bunch of interesting turbans. And so I built this, and I call him Boxing, Boxsingh. And so that's my little miniature version. And guess what? I also served as a volunteer, as an auxiliary constable with the police force. And again, our theme is to educate yourself, learn, and grow, and serve. And this is me serving as a police officer. And did you notice my turban has the crest of the Peel Regional Police? And so I just didn't want to have a Lego piece of me as a boxer. So I also created one of me as a police officer. Isn't that cool? Now, you can see over my shoulder here, that's my friend Voltage. And he just retired recently from the RCMP, but he was the first Sikh to wear a turban in the RCMP. And so to honor him as well, guess what I did? I made a little miniature RCMP Lego character as well. Now, turbans can be a lot of fun. Both men and women, boys and girls, wear turbans. And I want to share with you a beautiful calendar that was made by some of my friends with the Sikh Coalition. And it has with it so many different poses. And I want you to watch and look at these pictures and decide for yourself, which turban do you think looked the coolest or the best or the most handsome or the prettiest? And think about if you were to ever wear a turban, what style of turban would you wear? Because you're going to see a whole bunch. Or maybe what color would you wear? Like maybe if you're into Hulk, you might like to wear the green turban. Who knows what turban you might want to be wearing? So I'm just going to be sharing some pictures from here. Here's a beautiful picture of a police officer, and she just looks stunning in her turban right there as well. Here's another gentleman looking dapper in his turban, a beautiful blue turban, and he has a matching shirt as well. That's what we like to do sometimes. We like to match different parts of our clothing. Sometimes my socks match my turban if you look down at my feet. And here's another beautiful turban. And sometimes we like to decorate our turbans up as well. And so we like to sometimes bejewel them. And it's a beautiful, beautiful turban style. Wow, I like this one too, because this is a combination of a chunni and a turban. And it looks just so elegant and beautiful. Here's somebody serving in the military. And did you know for the last 7 years that we had a Sikh gentleman who was actually the Minister of Defense for Canada, and he served in the Canadian military with a turban on as well. Wow, this turban looks very stunning. You know, I might even try this style with me as well. I really love the color and I love the style. Well, folks, we have some competition because we have Captain America here. But you know what? We're going to have to find some Captain Canada. So who's going to be the one who's going to pose for me with a Captain Canada outfit so we can have the same image as this Captain America and we can go and fight against injustice everywhere. Now, I don't know what looks prettier, the smile or the turban. And boy, would I love to wear a turban like this because this is so sharply tied. You can see every single crease on one side. Each layer of the turban you can see, and he just looks very handsome. Hey, this is a famous Sikh actor named Waris Ahluwalia, and he just looks like Mr. Cool Dude in his turban. We have another gentleman who works for the Transit Authority wearing his turban. Oh, good dear friend of mine, Mr. Colonel Kalsi. And when he asked me to speak at the Pentagon, he also gifted me a military turban as well. So that's part of the different types of turbans I have as well. I have the exact same turban that he's wearing in this picture. Well, it's Sikh Heritage Month, and if I ever get called out to a nice formal dinner, I might look like this. I have a nice black turban matching the bow tie and the nice formal suit. So those are just some of the fun ways that you can see that the turban is tied. And, you know, these are some classic pictures that I want to show with you of different ways the turban can be tied. And just look at his mustache. Maybe I should start curling my mustache like that as well. And then we have a long, tall turban with some ornaments on it as well. So there are many different ways and styles for the turban. And guess what? I have a picture of a king with a turban. This is King George. This was Canada's king during the World War I, and that's King George with a military turban on. And we also have had kings and queens. And right behind me is this beautiful picture of the last Sikh king. And this was a project by students who bejeweled the turban for this art piece and donated it back to us at the Sikh Heritage Museum of Canada. So you might want to do a project during Sikh Heritage Month where you find a picture of a Sikh with a turban and then you can bejewel it up like this as well. Or maybe if you want to try a turban on and put it on and take a picture and bejewel it. And the last picture, which is one of our favorite pieces here at the museum I want to show you, is a Cadillac ad from 1932. And I think the picture speaks for itself. So just give me a second, I'll get it for you. This is a beautiful Cadillac ad, and it says, "Standard of the World." And it has an image, a stunning image of a Sikh with a beautiful turban on, with another gentleman wearing a top hat. So that's just a little bit about turbans. And I want you to during Sikh Heritage Month, think about the beauty of the turban, the crown on my head, and know what it means for me. And when you see somebody else with a turban, that you can acknowledge how beautiful it is and how important it is for them to be wearing a turban. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the session and have a wonderful Sikh Heritage Month. Take care.
Snapper for sharing this great information about various types of turbans and your word of wisdom. The time that you've taken to grace this occasion is greatly appreciated. Then when people meet a Sikh man anywhere in the world and they don't know his name, most of them can safely call him Mr. Singh. So, what is in our name? What is significant about the Sikh identity? Let's hear from a few individuals what they think about it.
Okay, Mr. Carter.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Navjot Kaur Jandu. According to the American author Ralph Ellison, it is through our names that we first place ourselves in the world. Our names, being the gift of others, must be made our own. Indeed, when we meet someone new, our name is usually the first piece of information about ourselves that we share. It is often one of the first markers of our identity that others learn about. Let's hear from two individuals share the stories about their beautiful names.
My name is Ajapal Singh, and I'm proud of my name. My name Ajapal means someone who's not defeated. My middle name Singh was given to us by Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji, our 10th Guru, when he came to Khalsa Panth in 1699.
My name is Manpreet Kaur. My name was given to me by my father's sister. Manpreet means someone who is loved dearly by everyone. All Sikh females have Kaur as part of their name. It means a princess.
So some final thoughts, everyone. Your name represents you. It's your identity, so be proud of it. Correct pronunciation of names helps build connection, enhances belonging, fosters inclusion, and honors the individual. If you're unsure of how to pronounce a name correctly, ask about the correct pronunciation, listen attentively, observe others, and practice. Thank you all.
Thank you for enlightening us, dear friends. Now we understand how important it is for everyone to call others by their proper names. By the way, what is the meaning of Singh? It is time to watch a slideshow prepared by Sukhmani on our theme for this year, Vidya Vichari Ta Padupkari.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ Sikh Heritage Month, April 2022 by Sukhmani Kaur. Sikhism. Who is a Sikh? A Sikh is one who follows the teachings of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. The Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji contains the writings of 43 different individuals from our history. A Sikh also follows the message and the teachings of the Gurus. A Sikh is also one who stands up for injustice and helps those who need it, without expecting any sort of payment in return. And a Sikh is definitely a learner. Sikh Heritage. Sikhi is one of the world's youngest religions, and Sikhism only started 553 years ago. Sikhism was started by our first Guru, Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and the Khalsa was formed by our 10th Guru in 1699. The Khalsa was formed by our 10th Guru, Dhan Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji, to defend and protect humanity against the oppressing emperors of the time. The Khalsa is both saint and soldier. This year's theme, Vidya Vichari Ta Parupkari. Come to learn, go to serve. The goal of education is to serve humanity. Vidya means knowledge. Vichari means to understand and reflect. Ta means only if and when, and parupkari means benefit to others without any motive. Therefore, the full meaning of vidya vichari ta parupkari is only when we understand and reflect upon knowledge, we benefit to others without any motive. Education from a Sikhism perspective. Both the teacher and student are open to learning from one another. This means that there is a free flow of knowledge through asking questions to trigger deeper learning. This also means that we consider the well-being of all learners. Also, there is an all-inclusive education with equity of access to learning opportunities that empowers every single learner. Guru's message with education. The Guru's message is to live an honest life, to give to those who need it, to share your knowledge and blessings, to be kind to everyone, that we are all equal and there is no discrimination, remembrance and thanks to the Creator, to be brave and stand to injustice, and learning is endless. So how can we link the Guru's message with education? One way that we can link the Guru's message with education is that we need a proper education ourselves before we can share our knowledge and blessings with others. Without proper education, how can we give back to the community? Thank you so much for listening to my presentation for Sikh Heritage Month, April 2022. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for this great information. Time up for reflection. Which of these Guru's message can you connect with?
In celebration of Sikh Heritage Month, we invited students from all schools across TDSB to create posters and videos to showcase their ideas about Sikh cultures, festivals, and identity, and what it means to be a Sikh in Canada.
We're overwhelmed by the interest shown by the students. However, we could choose only one winning poster and video in each of these three panels: kindergarten, grade 3 to grade 4 to grade 8, and grade 9 to grade 12. I would request Ms. Chandu and ACL at North Albion College and the co-chair of the Sikh Heritage Month Planning Committee to announce the winners.
Thank you, Isha. Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to announce the winners of our poster and video contest this year. I can tell you that we received many fabulous entries for our contest, and choosing the winners was not an easy task. Thank you to everyone who took the time to create the posters and the videos. A special shout out goes to Graysdale Public School with the most number of entries submitted. Thank you, Ms. Goraya, for sending those to us. So here are the winners. For our junior panel from kindergarten to grade 3, the winner is Yuvraj Bangay, a grade 3 student from Graysdale Public School. May I please have a round of applause for this student's poster. For our intermediate panel from grade 4 to grade 8, Simar Bangay, a grade 5 student from Graysdale Public School, has won the first prize. Please join me with a round of applause for this student's poster. And for our secondary panel from grades 9 to grade 12, the winner is a grade 11 student from Thistletown Collegiate, Barunjit Mundir. Let's have a round of applause for this student's poster. We only had one winning video that was submitted to us for our intermediate panel. And the winner for this category is Samrat Panu, a grade 5 student from Beaumont Heights Public School.
Hi, I'm Samrat.
I'm a Sikh student from grade 5 at Bowman Heights. Toronto is a wonderful place to be Sikh. There are many gurudwaras here. Sikhism is part of my identity because it teaches me that all humans deserve love. We start our prayers by saying Ik Onkar, which means God is one for everyone. We end our prayers by saying Sarbat Da Pala, which means I pray for everyone's well-being. My favorite Sikh festival is Lohri. It is a harvest festival that celebrates the end of winter. It is important for farmers. We celebrate on January 12th or 13th by sitting around a bonfire with a basket of food. Diwali is another one of my favorite festivals. It is celebrated each year in October. Sikhs celebrated to mark the return of our sixth Guru in 1619. Because it is a festival of lights, we light divas, which are clay lamps, and we decorate our homes. Vaisakhi is a Sikh New Year. It was when Khalsa was created. Khalsa is the name of the baptized Sikhs. It is celebrated on April 13 or 14. On this day, we go to temples called gurudwaras and walk in parades.
Thank you again to all participants, and we can't wait for this contest next year.
Thank you, Ms. Jandu, and a huge thank you to all the students who participated in this contest. I would now request Mr. Harpreet Singh Kuman, Superintendent of Education, TDSB, to provide his closing remarks.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much to all the students in particular who've been involved in today's Sikh Heritage Month virtual launch. And I just want to say a special thank you to all the students, teachers, staff watching, parents possibly as well, and community members. When I think of the word, the Sikh identity and what it means, that's one of the things we talked about having students this year reflect on. And I'm so grateful for the students across the TDSB who've submitted posters and videos, as you saw, about what that name means to them, what that identity means to them, what they think about when they think about who they are. There's two really important words that come to mind to me when I think about being a Sikh and the Sikh identity, and that is through some of our really important teachings. So two words I'm going to leave you with that you already heard. One is seva. And when I think of seva, I think of selfless service and the acts that we commit to serve others, particularly those in need. So when you're in the presence of somebody who identifies as Sikh, male or female, or however they identify, you should know that you're in the presence of someone that will stand up for you, that will be in solidarity to you and to support you. So that's the word that comes to mind, is seva, selfless others. So for those of you watching, when you're thinking about how can I honor Sikhs, how can I honor the Sikh heritage and traditions, think about ways you may commit to acts of seva for any community in need, particularly those groups that don't have a voice at the table. The other word I want you to think about is solidarity. So seva and solidarity, two really important aspects of Sikh identity and who we are. That's what comes to my mind. And I want you to think about whatever your name, whatever your identity, wherever you are, how are you showing solidarity to others, particularly groups, students, families who need it more than others? And who is in solidarity with you? So one thing I want to leave you with today is whoever you are, wherever you are, know that the Sikh community will always stand in solidarity with you and will always be there to support you. And that's just a big part of who we are. It's a big part of what we do. I also want to leave you with some really amazing events that are coming up in the next few weeks. We're very excited on Monday, April the 11th, to have author Navjot Kaur visiting us. She's going to be sharing her book called The Garden of Peace. You heard one of the students talking about Vaisakhi, which is a very important day in our tradition and in our community. So she'll be sharing a book called The Garden of Peace that speaks a little bit about that. And again, some of the traditions and beliefs of who we are. On April the 20th, you'll have a chance to meet the amazing, talented, superhuman Gurdeep Bandar from the Yukon. And he is really becoming a worldwide figure in his passion for Sikh culture, and really spreading joy and positivity throughout the world. And you'll get a chance to meet him on April 20th. And lastly, on April 27th, for our secondary students, we have a panel coming up to explore more aspects of Sikh heritage, Sikh traditions, and who we are. So again, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. A special thank you to the director and the chair for sharing remarks. And of course, last but not least, our amazing students. This work is really very much about you. And we stand in solidarity with you always. And again, happy Sikh Heritage Month, everyone. And we'll see you at some of our upcoming events. Have a great day, everyone.